Hey class, today I'll be presenting Does Australia treat everybody the same regardless of their race, ethnicity, class or religion in terms of the justice system or when committing a crime? Australia may appear to be a country that treats everybody equally when have committed a wrongdoing, but this is not the case. Individuals of various race or identity are dealt with in an unfair manner. Incapacity, sex, age, class, and religion may likewise add to an individual's being dealt with unreasonably when crossing the law. Therefore, the question whether the Australian justice system treats everybody, well, it's clearly false. Aboriginals' mistreatment by the police and the justice system has always been an issue up until even today. The main issue stems from Aboriginal people committing trivial or petty crimes at a very low grade of wrongdoing. A great example of this is in the community of Baralula. They collected Christmas hampers that contained alcohol, which was forbidden outside the town. The police did not resolve this in a peaceful manner, and they could have let the Aboriginal people know that this was forbidden, but instead they called in reinforcements from Katherine, which was 670 kilometres away, and they waited until the Christmas hampers were brought back into the prescribed areas, and then they conducted a detection and seizure operation, where they not only seized the alcohol, but they also took the cars as well. If the same had have happened to a group of white people, this would have been resulted in a peaceful manner. This just shows the different approach that between white people and Aboriginal people and their crimes and their wrongdoings. It can be dived into deeper that statistics can also demonstrate the unlawful behaviour of Australian justice system and the police, with all crime stats pointing towards the unfairness towards Aboriginal people, with them being isolated in an effort to lock them up and dehumanise them as people. A statistic shows that Aboriginal women are 20 times more likely to be incarcerated than non-Aboriginal women. The unfairness furthers as Aboriginals are more likely to be incarcerated for crimes that should not entail incarceration. This is another example of the petty or trivial crimes. An example of this could be swearing or doing something illegal that they might not be aware of, like the Christmas hampers, which should not entail the treatment that they received. There is also no way that the Aboriginals should contribute to 29% of people incarcerated in Australia when they only make up 3.3% of the population. This is simply unfair. The facts are that they don't receive equal opportunity as it is, which leads to them mainly committing petty crimes that are harshly punished for, where they don't get help, leading to continuously reoffending. Mistreatment of disabled and mentally people is another unfair example of how people are treated in Australia. It is as prominent as any, with 40% of Australian prisoners identified as having previously been diagnosed with a mental illness. Other statistics that approximately 1 in 5 people with a mental illness will encounter the criminal justice system at least once in their lifetime. In New South Wales, young people with mental health disorders and cognitive impairment are 6 times more likely to be in prison compared with young people without a disability. It is also shown that between 1989 and 2011, of the 105 people that were incarcerated, 42% of them had a mental illness. These statistics are bad enough, but the real trouble happens when they're inside the prison, as when they are put in their disabled or their mental unit, they are not given the treatment that they deserve. This leads to them either reoffending or being very vulnerable to other criminals that are less affected by cognitive impairment. And when they are released, they are just most likely to reoffend because they don't know anything better. They haven't been given the proper treatment and the rehabilitation to know different. To conclude my speech today, it is more apparent than ever that Australia is out of line in the justice system, as Aboriginals genuinely have little to no desire to receive help from the police, as they are being sabotaged by the law. They are unjustly indicated and condemned. They have little to no desire for restoration, which leads to a high possibility of reoffending because of little consideration or assist that they receive. The numerous ways that crippled and those with psychological instability are receiving is outstandingly comparable treatment by police and government. Change clearly needs to occur. Thank you.